That smell. Home, Ruth says as the door creaks closed behind them. Taking in the room, now full of blanket-covered furniture and dust-covered shelves, she turns to a picture next to the door. It was a picture of the lighthouse they had just stepped into. A short, white, round building with only 2 floors and, to be expected, a large prominent light on top that, in its time, would have lit up the rocky shoreline that it presided over. Forgotten what it feels like to come back here. Like, nothing can touch me. Mind if I take a look around? The doctor asks, caution and worry in her voice. Sure, Ruth says flatly, the sense of mistrust clear in her voice as well. I'll get a fire going. Ruth slowly walks toward the living room off to the right, keeping an eye on the doctor as she turns around and begins up the spiral staircase at the back of the house. The doctor steps up into the large glass dome, the light covered in cloth like everything else abandoned and forgotten in this place. She steps out of a door onto the small balcony on the rim of the light's dome. Staring out, all she sees is the same winding hills of green that they drove through to get here, and the shoreline beyond it now mostly mud from the low tide. It wasn't until she began to look closer to the lighthouse that she noticed it. Below her, next to the building, was a small, white shed. Thinking back to the picture Ruth held, the shed wasn't in it. Finally having something to go on, not much, but something, the doctor rushes back down the stairs and out the front door, not even noticing the roaring fire in the living room with no Ruth in sight. She runs around to the side of the lighthouse, and when the shed comes into view, a strange feeling comes over her. She slows down, and it's as if a tiny voice in the back of her head was telling her that the shed didn't matter. It did look like an ordinary shed, perfectly plain white siding with a perfectly normal wooden door. But another sensation also caught her attention. She pressed her hand to her chest and felt a warmth. The key she kept on a string under her shirt was reacting to something. Her own curiosity overriding her growing apathy of this shed, she stepped towards it and up to the door. She pulled the string out from under her shirt, and in her hand she held a key that looked like any house key, except for the humming it was emitting. Slipping the string over her head, she held the key to the lock and slipped it in, angling the key slightly to the right as she had done thousands of times before, making sure to hit the 3rd hole on the left inside the lock. She takes in a deep breath, and with a click, the key turns. She yanks the key out and steps back, her mind reeling with confusion and barely beginning to form the questions that she has. She hears a voice. Figure anything out? Ruth steps out from around the house, now dressed in a dark blue suit with an undershirt of bright oranges and reds, carrying a large silver rifle glowing yellow that is clearly not from Earth. I did. I broke the glass. This, the doctor turns and points at the shed and demands, What is this? That's my ship, Ruth replies in a matter-of-fact tone. What? Let me take it from the top, Ruth smiles. Hello. I'm the doctor.